This is just an update on where we are. We came into Ireland on Sunday and arrived up here at Ballycastle. Sunday night saw us at Port Rush, which is just up near Coleraine. On Monday we had to travel through the rain and we wanted to get out of Northern Ireland as quick as possible because of the marches, and we came down through Londonderry. Somebody very kindly showed us a way to get through quickly. We only had to avoid 2 burnt out cars, and then we moved down to Sligo, which is here, and then down to Galway on Monday. On Tuesday we followed this little road up here which goes to a place called Rosmill. All the signs are in Gaelic. It's very difficult to understand where you are. Somebody gave us the place in English, and you really did feel as if you were in a foreign country in Ireland with all the signs in Gaelic. And the reason we went to Rosmill, because we wanted to get on the Aran Island. Well, we made it to the Isle of Aran. This is a little church dedicated to St Endas. Endas, you remember, was educated at Canada Cassida at Whitthorn. And Endas is known as the teacher of the saints of Ireland. And under Endas' influence on Aran, those who were influenced by him are Finian of Clonard, Columcille of Iona, Brendan of Clonfert, Jarlath of Toon, St Finian of Morville, and St Kevin of Glendalough. Without doubt, Endas is one of the most important saints in Ireland. And his influence was simple. He took what he learned from Ninian, he brought it home to Ireland, he taught those who were interested the monastic way, and they in turn spread out through Ireland, out onto the continent, and the Celtic Church was born and birthed. When Endas returned to Ireland from Scotland, the first thing he had to do was to find a remote place. And you can't get much more remote than the Aran Islands. We've just crossed by what's the equivalent of a speedboat, which took 30 minutes. I would imagine in a curragh it would take about 3 hours. Can you imagine popping out to get a bottle of milk? But it was quite simple. The first lesson of Celtic monasticism is find a remote place. It seems crazy, doesn't it, that if the impetus is to evangelise, the first thing you do is to hide away. And yet Endas, in finding a remote place, called to him through his prayer hundreds and hundreds of people who would seek him out. And as we've already noted, it was the saints of Ireland, the prospective saints of Ireland, that began to seek him out. Celtic monasticism is simple. It's not expensive. You only need a few huts, a few people, a little church, and you've started. And yet it was this movement of simplicity that began one of the biggest artistic and intellectual movements that would spread throughout Britain and into Europe. And that movement, its impetus came from the Irish Church, which we often refer to as the Celtic Church. This is a beautiful place. We're going to go and meet our taxi drivers now and their horses. He's just been telling me that when you give a greeting here, you say, God be with you and the saints, and may it be a good day.
Misher after yn fili, laint y gofis is de gra. Le sôlig an solas, le cúnis gan cra. Ik dal sir ed maastir, le solas moch rui. Fáin agus tuirse go déireann na slí. Féchann siome agus má air wala, ag sinim ceol go fógaí wala. He ran to New Rafferty with a blind poacher, and he said, Féchann siome, look at me here, facing the wall, playing music for him to pack. Poor man.
Tell us again how you greet each other on the island.
Oh, Gomani, one person, Gomani David. And the answer is Jagus Murivit. Plural, then Gomani Jayib. Gomani Jagus Murib Fane.
And what does it mean in English?
God be with you, God be with you, and God be married to you also. That's the answer.
That's the answer.
God be with you. And we don't use hello to.
You don't use Please tell us your name so we remember.
Oh, in English.
In English?
Yeah, Thomas Faherty.
Thomas?
Faherty. F-A-H-E-R-T.
Marcus Flaherty.
And in the Gaelic?
I'm Thomas O'Forta.
Marcus O'Flaherty.
I'm not sure who St. Piddin is, but this is his church. And Thomas tells us it's the smallest church in Europe. Well, the reason the Celts didn't have big churches was because the church was on the inside of you, not on the outside. As Thomas has just demonstrated. We've just been riding down the road on his pony and trap. And at 12 o'clock, he says, it's 12 o'clock. He crossed himself, says his office quietly under his breath, crosses himself and then carries on. In Celtic Christianity, we don't come to the church lives inside of us. And it lives on in the traditions of the people here. Some cynics will say, oh well, it's just things that they've learned by rote, or things that have become just part of the ritual. But I think for Thomas, it's part of his way of life. In fact, it is his life.